Okay, the city entryway beautification project. Always amazes me how that thing works.
Yep.
As the council knows, Public Works Finance Committee, certainly Walter Steed, who chaired the Beautification Task Force or group, and Bill Belknap, who staffed that. What you see before you is the results or the priorities of that City Beautification Task Force. And the one that we will be talking about today is this area right up in this area right here, North Moscow on Main Street, toward the north entrance to town. I just have pirated a few of Bill's slides to try and help us illustrate what's going on. This is the North Entry project that when Bill made his report to council indicated that this was a priority of the group and that it would be done pursuant to the design of an architect, which you see in your packet. You have a proposal from the architect as well as from the engineer to do the work along here in order to allow this to begin. So this is North Moscow, Pintail Lane here, or Pintail Lane, and Rodeo Drive down here. That was not supposed to do that. There we go. So these are just the artist's rendering or the architectural rendering of the things that can be done. When this was proposed to City Council, we'll just go through the recommendations of the committee, and this were the prioritization for improvements. And as Bill indicated in his report, that there are a lot of the things, weed control, those sorts of things, that, and tree planting that can be done with the city's own forces. But as far as improvement prioritization, these are the improvements that have been rated by that group. And at the top is the North Entry enhancement. When Bill gave his report, he indicated that the price of that North Entry enhancement was approximately $60,000. And there was a lively discussion, as you recall, on behalf of the council, on the part of the council, that this is a priority. We want to see staff bring forward some sort of funding for the improvements in the FY 2016 budget. And so we went back and looked. 15. I think the direction was for 16, but we were able to go certainly do what we could with the remaining funds in 2015. We went back and looked at opportunities to perhaps move this project ahead during this construction season in the FY 2015 budget. And if you skip to the last page of the packet, you'll see a memo from Finance Director Don Palmer regarding a potential for funding this project. We've got a couple of areas that we feel we can tap funds. One is the Time Warner audit settlement for $35,546. This was a result of a cable audit, unanticipated revenues. We've been working on it for a couple of years, and that has since been received by the city, and that is pursuant to our franchise agreement. Secondly, $10,000 from the legislative reserve or the non-prioritized projects line item in the legislative budget, originally funded at $25,000. It was tapped for $7,144 earlier for the second or third phase of the study for the underpass for the path across Highway 8, leaving a balance of about $17,856. If we were to tap that line item for $10,000, it would leave the council with $7,800 for the rest of the budget year for priorities the council could identify then. Finally, we would go into the general fund building budget, general fund capital projects, general facilities, and would come up with $15,000 for that. That comes up to just over $60,000. Bill indicates that we can proceed with the help of Public Works and Parks and Rec, and we can get this project moving ahead if the council wants to authorize this funding. And of course, Don Palmer will put it in his open budget request, as he always does in August, but we can proceed with this in this fiscal year if the council so desires.
So we can move forward with the project, and Don will open the budget in August for the improvement, but we can go ahead and get things.
Exactly. The authorization we're seeking tonight is to move ahead with the project under the conditions that I've just related, and we will go ahead and make that happen, and then Don will bring those forward in the budget, in the open budget process.
Dan?
Well, I would make a motion that we move forward with the project.
I second that.
Okay, Dan made the motion, move ahead with the project, Art seconded, and Wayne has a question.
Any way we can find $10,000 someplace else other than our legislative funds?
Certainly with we can, we have funding in general fund capital, and we can draw that down even further. I guess from the way we were looking at it, Wayne, was the council had not indicated that there was anything on the horizon for the legislative reserve. So certainly that was an area that we thought that we would take the balance out, leaving that $7,800 in there for any council project they wanted. But, we'd have to go back and reassess.
If I may.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, we've had instances over the years where something that was akin to an emergency came up within the community that the council is elected to utilize our own legislative general funding for to help eliminate that particular problem. And by taking this $10,000 out, we continue to reduce this down to where the ability for us to cover that type of a problem lessens. We still have a number of months left before we get into the new budget cycle. In fact, we haven't even seen what the new budget is going to be looking like. So while I certainly do approve of this project and I would like to see it move forward, I would like to make an amendment to the motion that we direct staff to take an additional $10,000 out of the capital improvement funds as opposed to the council's legislative funds.
The amendment died for a lack of a second.
Died for lack of a second. Well, not batting very well tonight, am I? Huh?
Remember my 20 cents.
Give you your 20 cents. Okay.
Well, we got a motion by Dan and a second by Art to move forward and approve with staff direction. We'll start with Walter.
Aye.
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 Okay, so we're going to move forward 6-0. Thank you, Gary.
Mr. Mayor, a question
Yes, sir.
for Gary, if I may,
Okay.
on the same topic.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And Gary, we do anticipate at this time, absent additional thought or planning on using the red shirts again this spring?
It's my understanding, after discussing that with Dwight Curtis, our Parks and Rec Director, that he intends to utilize, he'll assess what the need is, but he intends to keep the weeds knocked down as directed, and will utilize whatever resources he needs. Whether, I'm anticipating they'll utilize those folks again, but I don't know that yet.
Okay, thank you.